I'm James Spann. A big upper trough keeping Alabama mostly cloudy and drizzly today, but the sun has been breaking out on the western side of the state. Look for a nice warming trend in coming days, but more changes by the weekend. I've got a full forecast update coming up on ABC 3340 News at 6 o'clock. That starts now.
Live from Alabama's news leader, this is ABC 3340 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Dave Baird.
And I'm Linda Mays in for Brenda LeDunn tonight. Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. Right now, 2 suspects are in custody after a standoff at a home in Inslee. The man seen on your left is Lawan Dontel McNeil. The man seen on the right is Jeffrey Howe. Authorities believe they're connected to a high-speed chase that ended in a triple fatal accident.
Now, earlier this afternoon, a third suspect, 20-year-old Dominique Rashad Smith, turned himself in to authorities. ABC 3340's Bryant Somerville joins us now live. And Bryant, what is the latest?
Well, the latest, Dave, is that compared to what it looked like 15 minutes ago, now it's kind of a ghost town. Nothing but a few police officers left on scene. Other than that, Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies as well as U.S. Marshals have all cleared the scene. Definitely a big scene earlier. We heard a lot of bangs. You might remember live on television. Actually, that wasn't a battering ram. U.S. Marshals have told me that that was actually a flashbang grenade that officers threw into that house. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about those 2 suspects that they brought out of the house. The second suspect that they brought out wearing that brown coat, his name is Jeffrey Howe. He is the suspect from last night, and I've been told that officers did take him to Cooper Green Mercy Hospital to be evaluated. It's a standard procedure. The first gentleman that they brought out wearing that white T-shirt, his name is Lawan Dontel McNeil. And we're told that his only crime, not necessarily connected to last night's chase, his only crime is helping Howe to hide. Now, we're told that Birmingham Police and the Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task Force, which is a kind of a subsidiary of U.S. Marshals, they are the ones that went into the house to retrieve those 2 suspects. But right now, again, nothing really left on scene, just a few officers as well as just 1 or 2 cruisers. But the street seems to be very, very quiet. Very amazing how quiet the street is right now. We'll, of course, I know that Sarah Snyder is also in this area. She's talking to neighbors, and she's going to bring you those interviews tonight on ABC 3340 at 10. For now, we're reporting live in Inslee. Bryant Somerville, ABC 3340.
This was a silly crime, and this is one of these things that we always wish never happened.
Now, before the deadly crash, police were in hot pursuit of the suspects in a white SUV in Cordova.
That chase started there and ultimately ended on Minor Parkway and Highway 269 in West Birmingham. And that's where we find ABC 3340's Honora Gathings. And Honora, the suspect's route is not as simple as it sounds.
Not at all. It all began with an armed robbery at a house in Cordova that led to an alert. That became a police chase in Dora that continued down Highway 78 onto Minor Parkway behind me, bypassed this crash scene, continued up the road into McDonald's Chapel, even going through yards and a fence before ending up right here. Some of the victims can't speak, but one can.
I think that they should throw the book at them, really. I mean, that is just so terrible.
The ordeal actually began with an armed robbery outside a Cordova house on the other side of this hill. That's where police say the suspects hit an elderly man over the head, stole his wallet, and fled. Police Chief Kenneth Bobo says the man's wife was okay, but the man had to get head staples. The suspects will face attempted murder.
We want them bad, and like I said, we're still investigating to determine if any other robberies or any other incidents occurred before this crime occurred.
More crimes occurred afterwards. Door police spotted the men throwing the robbery victim's wallet out of the car window and followed the white Tahoe into Jefferson County to McDonald Chapel.
Yeah, I'll show you. You want to walk up here?
That's where Jeff English found them, in his yard.
What they did was they came through that yard right there, and I don't know how they did it, but they come in between the pool and those bushes right there. And they come around, and the first guy, he jumped out of the truck and jumped over the fence and took off running. All right, well then somehow, I don't know how that guy, the other guy did it when he was driving, but he backed up and then he just took out the fence and just, took off dragging our fence down the road.
Eudora police called off its officers once the Tahoe went through English's fence up in McDonald's Chapel, again less than a mile from the crash scene, which took place right here. Now, police say these suspects will face charges beginning with attempted murder that should put them in prison for life. Live in Birmingham, Honora Gathings, ABC 3340.
Honora, thank you. Birmingham detectives spent most of the day reconstructing the accident scene. Police say the suspects barreled through a red light in a white SUV at 100 miles an hour. The suspects ran the red light, then plowed into the family's car, which police say was stopped at the light. Detectives plan to use all evidence collected at the scene to further the investigation. Now, the high-speed pursuit claimed the lives of a Hayden family and injured a Jefferson County deputy.
Yeah, ABC 3340's Kevin Stewart is live now in Hanceville with our team coverage of this tragedy. Kevin, what can you tell us about the victims?
Well, Dave, I talked to several close friends of the family who told me just how concerned they were when they could not find the family last night. As you mentioned, they lived over in Hayden, which is just a couple of towns over. I'm told the couple had been together for some time. Amber Verris, Ryan Colwell, and their daughter Rogue usually were at home at night, and that's why friends of the family were so worried. Right now, they're still not sure why they were on the road last night. Ryan Colwell graduated from Hanceville High School 2 years ago. Former teacher there remembers him as a comedian with a good heart.
And the way that they died, what a waste. I mean, seriously, I mean, was the robbery so important that you had to kill 3 people and a child too?
Colwell would have turned 21 3 weeks from today. Live in Hanceville, Kevin Stewart, ABC 3340.
Thank you, Kevin. Be sure to stay with ABC 3340 on the air and on our website for the latest developments on the story. You can also get details on our Facebook page and Twitter page.
In Tuscaloosa, a janitor is accused of having sexual contact with a student in a bathroom at Central High School. 28-year-old Curtis Hodges is charged with a school employee having sexual contact with a student under the age of 19. Now, ABC 3340's Isaiah Harper is live in our Tuscaloosa newsroom with more. Isaiah, you have the story.
Well, that's right, Dave. Hodges has actually been fired from the Tuscaloosa City school system. According to court records, he allegedly called that student on her cell phone while she was in class and told her where to meet him. People living near Central High School say they just can't believe it that a janitor allegedly had sexual contact with a student alone in a bathroom.
It happened. It should not happen at school.
Carrie Ray says she's disturbed.
My grandkids will be going there next week, so I'm glad they got the crew.
Police say it happened September the 7th and was captured by surveillance video at the school. They say after calling the student from class, 28-year-old Curtis Hodges is seen following the student into a girls' restroom near the school gymnasium. And a second janitor locked the door behind them, then acted as a lookout.
Them 2 men should be out of the system. They supposed to be teaching them kids the right way and then doing their work. They don't supposed to be watching no kid at all. They don't supposed to be at that school at all.
Court documents state Hodges kissed the student, fondled her, and made her fondle him. Police say a school administrator passed by and became suspicious of what was going on. People in the community are outraged.
You for the guy like to watch out for the other one. That's child's play. So they're wrong. No ends about it. Now you know. Now one thing about innocent until proven guilty, but you caught in the act. You got to pay the due.
Well, police say that second janitor may actually face charges. As of right now, both have been fired from the Tuscaloosa City school system. Hodges is out of jail on $12,000 bond. Reporting live in Tuscaloosa, Isaiah Harper, ABC 3340.
All right, thanks, Isaiah. Psychiatric testing for the man accused of poisoning the tumors oak trees in Auburn may take longer than expected.
And are some women and minorities being slighted in Jefferson County? The county is under a consent decree, but find out why an outside firm will not investigate the county's hiring practices. You're watching ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.
From a few hours to years, that's the range of how long psychiatric testing could take for the Alabama fan charged with poisoning the tumors oak trees in Auburn. Harvey Updike surrendered for psychiatric testing last week. State mental health officials say that evaluations can last from a month to years when a person is taken to a state mental health facility for screening. Now, Updike was set for trial this week. Of course, that case on hold indefinitely.
Why are women and minorities not applying for roads and transportation jobs in Jefferson County? Well, the county's human resources director won't get extra help finding out. Right now, the county is under a consent decree due to concern about whether women and minorities were being hired. But the county denied the HR director's request to pay someone to look at the issue because a consulting firm is already being hired for the same work.
We are attempting to do the right thing, and that we will continue to attempt to do the right thing.
A federal lawsuit has also been filed over the issue.
The deadline to reach agreements with area hospitals has passed. The Jefferson County Commission still doesn't know where Cooper Green patients will eventually go for certain services. And when commissioners voted to close inpatient services at the hospital by December, they decided that the hospital deals would be settled by September 28th. No agreements have been made, but they say they aren't worried yet.
It's going to come down to how are we going to pay those hospitals and what rate? And that's something we're still working on because we're still fine-tuning exactly what it is that those hospitals will be provided.
Inpatient services are still expected to end at Cooper Green in December.
Some members of the state legislature have tried for more than 10 years to rewrite the state's constitution one article at a time. 2 of the rewritten articles are ready to go before voters on the November ballot. The revisions would bring the language up to date and reflect changes in business practices.
Let's get James Spann in here because I'm liking this weather. It's got a fall feel.
I like these 60s today. It felt pretty good, and now the sun is beginning to break through. Let's take a look at our Skycam network. That's the Coleman Skycam. Few rays of sun back on the western horizon. High today, only 64. We should be at 80 this time of the year. What about the rest of the week and the weekend? The 7-day planning forecast is coming up, so stay with us.
Thanks, James. It sounds like Les Miles has left the door open for Honey Badger to return to the Tigers.
And who'd have thought Auburn and Arkansas would be a battle of 2 teams with 1 win each? Stu McCann has the Auburn Media Day report up next.
James Spann's forecast is brought to you by Talladega Super Speedway.
I'm James Spann. Temperatures today almost 20 degrees below average, but in coming days the weather warms up, low 80s late this week, but then more cool air. The forecast is next. We'll kick off the weather with our Skycam network, kind of give you a tour across Alabama. And hey, the camera's working, okay? They're in the clouds up there. That's our Chehaw Skycam. They have been basically socked in all day long. Not one ray of sun. The temperature is only 58 degrees. Remember, we should be at 80 this time of the year. That high of 64 actually came at midnight last night. But if you cross over to the western side of the state, look at that. Not a cloud in the sky. That's our Skycam at Hamilton High School. They managed to see a high of 71, right now 69. And from Coleman, that's a nice looking sky. That's gorgeous. That's looking back on the western horizon there. The high was only 64. And one more stop. Let's go way down south. Always a nice scene. That's our Skycam on the Alabama Gulf Coast at the Phoenix All Suites. It's clear at Gulf Shores. Their high today was 75. Right now, 74. Temperatures are mostly in the 60s across the northern half of the state this afternoon. We have 63 right now for Anniston and Gadsden. Fort Payne barely out of the 50s today. They're sitting at 61. And again, the clouds have been hanging tough over here on the eastern side of the state. Birmingham at 65. The warmer readings over here in West Alabama where the sun is back. Tuscaloosa 70, Muscle Shoals 70, Haleyville coming in at 66 degrees. We'll check the radar. We had the little light rain and drizzle today. Not exactly a pleasant day. Most locations not getting enough rain to measure. And as you can see, nothing showing up on the radar. Probably a few patches of drizzle near the Georgia border. Those will likely be ending soon. You can see the composite today showing a few little spritzes of rain here. But again, most of that is gone. And generally speaking, for the rest of the week, the weather will be dry. But having said that, we have one more bit of energy that will pass through here tomorrow evening. The main upper trough is passing through here now, but this secondary feature here is near Shreveport. That passes by here tomorrow night. So a slight chance of a shower late tomorrow and tomorrow night, and then we'll be rain-free on Thursday and Friday. No rain, by the way, for the high school football games this week. This is the RPM. This is 5 o'clock tomorrow. So again, a slight chance of a shower. But on Thursday, we'll have sunshine back in full force. Next dose of cool air coming in here late this weekend. We'll probably see the coolest air so far this season by Sunday and Monday of next week. Our forecast for tonight, the sky becoming fair. We'll forecast the low at 50, but keep in mind some fog will likely form. Tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, slight chance of a shower, the high 77. And for Thursday, the sky mostly sunny, the high at 82. Hey, check out the change over the weekend. Saturday, the high 82, a small chance of a shower. And Sunday, temperatures drop almost 20 degrees. The high 63 will be close to 40 by Monday morning. A good chance we'll see 30s across the colder pockets of North Alabama. Catch my forecast every day on 98.7 KISS FM. And I wonder if some of those really cold pockets might see the first frost of the season Monday morning.
Well, October knows how to bring it.
Coming in early.
Yes, thank you, James.
All right.
Hey, Jeff Spiegel with us now. A tale of two teams in need of a win.
Now, this is a must-win for both teams, Dave. An interesting matchup Saturday at Jordan-Hare. Two teams in desperation mode. Stu McCann joins us from the newsroom. He covered Auburn's Media Day today. Stu, no one predicted these teams would have one win each right now.
That's right, Jeff, because we're seeing Auburn and Arkansas fight for the lead in the SEC West, not the cellar. And Arkansas has looked that part in the cellar during a 4-game losing streak. Gene Chizik knows too much about the Razorbacks and their quarterback to take that at face value.
Again, on paper, doesn't necessarily look like what it looks like on film because they do. They've got some very dangerous players on their football team.
Public enemy number one is Tyler Wilson. The Arkansas quarterback has had more success against Auburn than any current player in the SEC. In 2 games against the Tigers, Wilson has thrown for 6 touchdowns and almost 600 yards. The Razorbacks rolled up more than 500 yards last week against Texas A&M.
Everything that he was built up to be preseason, he still is. And again, I know things haven't gone exactly the way they envisioned them going, but that hasn't changed him as a quality, and his qualities as a quarterback.
We have to have him worried about their pressure. We don't want to. The plan is not to get in a shootout. We want to stop this offense early.
The plan to put the brakes on Arkansas's veteran quarterback could involve a larger than usual dose of youth. Coach Chizik said freshman defensive backs Josh Hosley and Jonathan Jones have earned a spot on the field against the Razorbacks.
I know probably as a freshman, I know he's probably going to try to take shots on my side. So going into it, I just been prepared. But facing a guy like that is just a good challenge to see exactly where we are and where I'm at.
And Jeff, coming up at 10 o'clock, is this a make or break game for Gene Chizik and Kyle Frazier?
All right, Stu, we look forward to that. Well, did you think the Honey Badger was really done at LSU after being kicked out for failing a drug test? Les Miles said today in an interview on ESPN Radio, there was a legitimate chance that Tyrann Mathieu' story would have a happy ending with the LSU football family. Read into that what you will. And before we go, Cam Newton's personality and trophy collection are featured in one of those ESPN commercials. The scene is the newsroom. John Anderson's cubicle neighbor Cam getting yet another trophy.
What'd you win now? Golden water cooler. Got it for a joke I told in the break room.
What was the joke?
It was... It's about me, wasn't it? Yes.
Well, Cam was the butt of a joke in this Charlotte Observer cartoon a few days ago. The little balloon says, "I like to pretend there's a big S on my chest." Instead, it's a picture of Hello Kitty.
Oh.
Yeah. 4 touchdown passes, but 5 interceptions and 2 fumbles so far, and the Panthers are 1-3.
It's a great football game to watch, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello Kitty. Thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
And we will be back. You are watching ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.
At 10, we continue to follow today's developments after Monday's triple fatal crash.
Yeah, we'll have the latest on the now 3 suspects who have been apprehended. Plus, another food recall affecting products sold in Alabama. Popcorn could be the new problem this time. And why one restaurant got shut down for the meat it was cutting in the kitchen. We'll tell you why it couldn't be put on the menu. Join us at 10. One word, roadkill. And I'm not referring to James Spann this time.
James is here for a final check on the forecast. Dave.
Why do I think this story is going to run right before the weather segment and they're going to gross me? I don't
Good
know.
place for it.
Tune in and find out.
I can't wait. Meat that can't be sold. Let's go to the Skycam quick because the sun's about to go down. We were debating if that sunset is going to make it. And
beautiful.
It made it. I mean, we can sit here and just watch it go right over the horizon. And How about them apples? Up in Coleman, the temperature right now is 62. High today was 64, and notice how the sky is, it's gone.
Look at that.
We watched the sunset live
awesome?
together. Isn't that cool?
Beautiful.
Let's look at the 7-day one more time. A small chance of a shower tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. We warm up a little bit on Thursday and Friday. Much cooler late this weekend. A forecast update tonight at 10.
The 60s, that's cool enough.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's all our news for now.
Night Team has your next news at 10. We'll see you then.
I'm James Spann watching a gorgeous sunset coming off our Gulf Shores sky cam. The high down there was 84, but we got a big change to cooler weather coming up not that far away. I've got a full forecast update coming up on ABC 3340 News at 6 o'clock. That starts now.
Live from Alabama's news leader, this is ABC 3340 News at 6.
Charged and booked. The suspects involved in a deadly crash are formally charged for the crime. The latest in a live report.
An illness at a Talladega County high school leads to students hospitalized and a football game canceled. I'm Haley Westbrook, and I'll have those details next.
And taking the plunge, a Tuscaloosa school employee reaches new heights to cross off her bucket list. Good evening. I'm Brenda Ledun.
And I'm Dave Baird. Thank you for joining us.
The decision is final and the suspects are in jail tonight. Jefferson County District Attorney Brandon Falls formally charged 18-year-old Jeffrey Howe and 20-year-old Dominique Smith with 3 counts of felony murder. ABC 3340's Corey McGinnis joins us live right now with the very latest. Corey?
Yeah, well, Brenda, 20-year-old Dominique Smith, his bond is set for $250,000. 18-year-old Jeffrey Howe, his bond is set for $75,000. And LaJuan McNeil, who was charged yesterday with hindering prosecution, his bond was set for $15,000. Now, 2 of the suspects are currently in custody at the Birmingham Police Department. These suspects were captured in the deadly chase. We're told the U.S. Marshals, Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies, and the Birmingham Police Department made their way into a vacant house in the Central Park neighborhood, capturing one of the 2 men involved in the high-speed chase that began with a robbery in Cordova that ended up with a family of 3, including a 10-month-old baby, dead in a crash. Now, that took place on Highway 269 and Minor Parkway. Now, LaJuan McNeil and Jeffrey Howe, they were arrested in the raid. Police believe Howe was one of the 2 men in the SUV. Dominique Rashad Smith, he was surrendered to the police, and then he was taken to Cooper Green Hospital. Now, District Attorney Brandon Falls says this situation is awful all the way around.
This is a tragic situation. Again, there's nothing that we can say to the families other than we're sorry, and that deputy district attorneys from my office will be in contact with them and sit down with their family members to talk to them about what to expect over the course of the next year.
And again, 20-year-old Dominique Smith and 18-year-old Jeffrey Howe, they are charged with 3 counts of felony murder. So what's next? There will be a 72-hour hearing discussing attorneys, and next will be a preliminary hearing at the district court's office in Jefferson County. Reporting live at the Jefferson County Courthouse, Corey McGinnis, ABC 3340.
Thanks, Corey. Funeral arrangements have been set for the victims, Ryan Colwell, Amber Burris, and 10-month-old Rogue Colwell. Visitation is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Moss Service Funeral Home in Coleman. The funeral service is immediately following at the chapel. Be sure to stay with ABC 3340 on the air and on the web as we continue to follow this story.
And now an ABC 3340 exclusive right now. The Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office is working to detonate a suspicious package. Officers on the scene tell us that a man brought in a package that resembles a pipe, left it at the administration desk, laughed, then walked out. ABC 3340 has exclusive video here of the bomb unit taking it away. People were evacuated from the inpatient care services and radiation building and surrounding buildings. Everyone was able to get out okay. Deputies have not yet released the suspect's name. Well, new at 6.
He's doing better. He's doing better. Still has some stomach issues, but he's getting better every day.
A football pregame meal could be why more than 30 Fayetteville High School students are sick. Since Friday, 32 students, 5 staff members, and 3 volunteers reported stomach virus symptoms. 2 students and 1 staff member are still hospitalized. ABC 3340's Haley Westbrook just got back from Fayetteville, and she joins us now in the newsroom with details.
Well, you know, Dave, the Department of Public Health is investigating this illness, but we do not know yet what's to blame. Now, I'm told Friday night's meal was chicken and rice, and today 27 students didn't go to school, and Friday's football game with Verbena is forfeited. Now, most of the 6 students are football players.
We're a small 1A school. You can't play with unless you have 11 guys, and I don't think we got 11.
Robbie Morris's son Logan is one of the students who got sick. He ate the pregame meal Friday, and Saturday is when it hit.
And he started running a real high fever and came home and stayed in the bed till I think Tuesday before he actually come out of the bedroom and was able to eat and hold something down.
Like Logan, many other students have called in sick this week. 2 students and 1 staff member are in the hospital, we're told, here in Sylacauga.
We was actually going to carry him that day, and he got up and ate a bowl of soup and drank, I think, 6 glasses of water, went back to bed, stayed in the bed for a couple hours and didn't have to get up and throw up or anything.
71 people ate Friday night's meal, but no one outside that group got sick, something Martha McKinney is thankful for.
Well, my grandkids didn't get sick, but, you know, I've hated for the other kids that got sick.
The Department of Public Health is investigating, hoping to find what's to blame soon.
They were running tests on the actual food, so just gonna wait till I know who to point at before I would point my finger.
And the Department of Public Health is urging anyone who's sick to not get out in the community, and that's until they can determine what is actually causing the illness. In the newsroom, Haley Westbrook, ABC 3340.
Yeah, thanks, Haley. Jefferson County will bring on an extra person to ensure fair hiring practices. An industrial psychologist will be hired. Now, this person will review the hiring practice for each position. This is to make sure the county is meeting the requirements of the consent decree by hiring women and minorities.
This is a very important part of the road moving in the right direction so that Jefferson County can once and for all exit this consent decree.
A federal lawsuit has been filed over the county's hiring practices. It's also using an outside firm to review the position specifically named in the suit.
Well, today, members of the governor's Region 4 Workforce Development Committee met at a local tech school. They had a chance to see students at work learning the skills they need for the jobs that are in high demand. ABC 3340's Candace Sweat has the story.
Could technical and vocational schools be part of the solution for boosting our job market and stabilizing our economy? State Superintendent Dr. Tommy Bice seems to think so.
Technical education, regretfully for years, has been considered it's for those children. Whether you're going to be an entry-level draftsman or an architect or an engineer, there's a skill set that you learn through this that's applicable to any of those careers.
He joined members of the Region 4 Workforce Development Council for a tour of Shelby County Technical School. Renee Day, the school's career coordinator, says she wants the council to see that tech students could fill the vacant positions at their companies.
That even in this period of record unemployment, there are job sectors that have remained in need of jobs, and that's in the skilled area, the skilled labor area.
Senior Caleb Chris is part of the engineering program.
Ultimate plan is Alabama Power. I'm getting a lot of different ties with them, and whatever they want me to do, I'll do it. If they want me to go straight to work, I'll go straight to work. If they want me to go to college, I'll go to college.
He's already caught the eye of several council members. In Shelby County, Candace Sweat, ABC 3340.
And the school has an impressive placement rate. 97% of students get jobs or go on to further their education.
A state Democratic senator says he's switching to the Republican Party. Senator Jerry Fielding says he's switching to do what's best for his people. He says his conservative values no longer line up with the Alabama Democratic Party. Fielding, who has been in public office for 34 years, has served District 11 as a senator for the last 2 years.
No longer can you say you're an Alabama Democrat as opposed to a Democrat, and I think that the Alabama Democrat leadership is basically just echo in what happens in the National Democrat Party.
Governor Robert Bentley released this statement. We welcome Senator Fielding to the Republican Party, and we look forward to working with him as we continue our mission of creating jobs, streamlining state government, and making more efficient use of taxpayer dollars.
The state's highest court has agreed to hear a Tuscaloosa developer's appeal of a misdemeanor menacing conviction. The state Supreme Court will review lower court rulings in the case against Stan Pate related to gun and property rights. The conviction stems from a 2009 argument during which prosecutors say Pate pulled a shotgun. Pate was arrested following the dispute with the general manager of the Santa Fe Cattle Restaurant.
Today marks the start of new construction for Miles College. The school's Board of Trustees held a groundbreaking ceremony for 3 buildings, a new admission center, a student dining hall, and a 204-bed resident hall. Right now, dormitories are full. The school has had to rent out an entire hotel to house other students.
From academics to athletics to facilities. These facilities will be some of the best facilities in the nation, bar none.
The buildings are scheduled for completion fall 2013. A Rotary Club out of Huntsville is helping sick patients in Guatemala.
Yeah, we'll show you how many people pitched in to make this possible. Straight ahead, you are watching ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.
Around Alabama, hospital beds are on their way to Guatemala thanks to the Huntsville Rotary Club. With the help of nearly 20 volunteers, 53 hospital beds rolled off delivery trucks and inside a warehouse at the Huntsville airport. The beds are from Hartzell Hospital, a $300,000 donation. The beds are for sick patients receiving treatment in Guatemala.
To be able to bring these beds in, you can imagine little children who are getting their chemotherapy, to be able to have a bed like this that several of these are electric, so they'll be able to raise and lower them, even to be able to help the staff that are caring for the children. It's just going to be night and day difference.
The Huntsville Rotary Club is planning a trip to Guatemala in the spring to dedicate the new hospital beds. What's on your bucket list? A Tuscaloosa City School employee just crossed off one item on her list. Dr. Elizabeth Davis, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, took the plunge by skydiving out of an airplane, but she had some help thanks to members of the United States Army Knights parachute team. We caught up with Dr. Davis just moments after her big fall.
I'm not gonna lie, when you first step out, it's a little scary, but it was fun. It is so fun. Was it? Yes. And it kind of takes your breath away.
I bet. Before taking the plunge, Dr. Davis said she just wanted to take advantage of an opportunity that you just don't get every day.
So, James, would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Yeah.
Really?
I would go for that.
We can arrange that for you.
I know you can.
Oh, no.
That's why I'm having second thoughts. Hey, let's go to the Skycam network. You know, it is a lovely time of the year. Sun going down right over the tree line at the Tombigbee River at Demopolis, where the high today was 83. Got some big changes this weekend. We'll talk about that and have the 7-day planning forecast coming up, so stay with us.
After weather in sports, Gene Chizik talks about a big month for the Tigers.
Yeah, the pack is back at Talladega, and that makes the Sprint Cup guys chasing the Cup nervous. Jeff Spiegel has that story next.
Hey, talking about a nice sunset, how about this one? Oh boy, that is nice looking. That is the Alabama Gulf Coast as seen from the Phoenix All Suites. And you know, a week from today, the National Shrimp Festival kicks off down there. Preliminary indications looks like it's going to be a great weekend, as most weekends are typically in October around here. And speaking of the weekend, it's time for football coming up. Let's take a look at some of the college football forecast. Arkansas plays at Auburn. That is an early start at Jordan-Hare Stadium. The sky should be partly sunny, very comfortable, 75 degrees at kickoff, upper 70s by the fourth quarter. There's no significant chance of rain. Pretty much the same deal for UAB's homecoming game at Legion Field, partly sunny with temperatures in the 70s for that ball game. There could be a shower late in the day, but I think the chance of rain is so small for the game for now, we're not going to mention that in the forecast. Temperatures this afternoon mostly in the 70s. We have 72 now for Fort Payne and Gadsden, Anniston 77, Birmingham at 76, and Tuscaloosa at 78 degrees. And man, check out this cool air coming down the pike. International Falls, Minnesota at 33. They've got snow on the ground, a major snowstorm today for parts of North Dakota and Minnesota. 1 foot in some spots up there in the north northwestern corner of the state. And the leading edge of the cool air approaching St. Louis, Chicago, they're getting in the cool air now. They're down to 56. Oklahoma City at 64. And that is the air we will feel on Sunday. Between now and then, temperatures should be fairly mild. There's the radar. Nothing happening across the state today. Close to thunderstorm activity to us down in parts of central and south Florida. In fact, some big storms down here producing locally heavy rain. And again, way up north, snow beginning to wind down here in Minnesota. But that's a pretty rare early October snowstorm. Many locations had some power outages today because of heavy wet snow and strong winds. That cold front due in here Saturday night. It could kick off a few scattered showers. Nothing heavy, nothing especially widespread. Then we'll see that nice surge of cool air blowing in here by Sunday. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. Highs should be around 80 or so. Then there's that cold front coming in. Maybe a brief shower Saturday evening, but again, rain should not be widespread. Mostly fair tonight. The overnight low 57, 83 tomorrow. The sky mostly sunny. Then for Saturday, partly sunny. Maybe a shower late in the day or Saturday night. The high 79. And on Sunday, the high drops to 63 with a fresh north breeze, down to 40 by Monday morning with 30s likely for the colder pockets around here. Catch my forecast tomorrow morning with the Rick and Bubba Show and also with their sister station, 98.7 KISS FM. The golden days fall. Next week just looks great. Comfortable days, cool nights, cobalt blue sky.
October's
great
just
time of the year.
Best time of the year.
Yep.
Thank you, James.
Hey, Jeff Spiegel here. Auburn with some work to do this month.
Absolutely. Got a big game with the Hogs coming up. The Arkansas game, part one of a demanding October for the Tigers. After the Hogs come road trips to Ole Miss and Vandy, then a home game with Texas A&M. And when you've gone 1-3 in September, no game on the schedule is a gimme.
Our intent is to continue to improve and win one game at a time, and that's what we're focused on. But this month's going to be a taxing month, but really and truly, what month isn't?
Missouri's got issues. Receiver Dorial Green Beckham, number 15, and teammates Levi Copeland and Tory Boozer were busted for possession of pot last night. The guys were sitting in Green Beckham's Lincoln Navigator in a parking lot near the football stadium when police approached and smelled marijuana. They've been suspended for Saturday's game against Vandy. Sanford's got another huge game Saturday. The Bulldogs are hosting the Citadel, ranked 19th this week. They're getting solid play at quarterback. Andy Summerlin transferred from Memphis, won the job, and he's won respect from his teammates. Throwing for 221 a game. That's fourth in the SoCon.
There's a lot of guys around me who are very talented, and I'm very fortunate to play on a team like this, and a great O-line in front of me. So I just have to be a game manager and get the ball to the playmakers and let them do their thing.
They're playing some pretty good defense, too. Safety Jaquaski Tart, he's the SoCon Defensive Player of the Month. He returned a fumble 80 yards for a touchdown against Georgia Southern last week. Jimmy Johnson is second in the Sprint Cup point standings, 5 behind Brad Keselowski. But Talladega is coming up, and Johnson is not looking forward to it. Johnson knows what it's like to win at Talladega. Remember him being pushed by Junior to the photo finish in the spring race of 2011, but he finished 35th last spring, so he's seen both extremes.
It's the same as every year. Survive and get as many points as you can. Talladega is so much goes on there and so much can happen. We have overheating issues to worry about. We have to protect the engine on top of the danger in racing and being taken out in something. So it's a very stressful weekend.
The Braves have benched Brian McCann for tomorrow's wildcard playoff game with St. Louis in favor of David Ross. McCann's been hurt a lot. That's had a lot to do with him hitting just .230 with 20 homers and 67 RBI. Chris Medlin will get the start on the mound, and there's no Brave pitcher that's throwing better. He's 10-1. He's not nervous. He'll have that peanut butter and honey sandwich 30 minutes before the game like he always does, and then go try to get people out.
Just going to approach it the same as every other start. I mean, I've had 11, 12 starts this year, and they really don't matter anymore. You know, it's a Game 7 thing, and, you know, it's you just go out and don't talk. You just go do, you know.
Hey, remember Kurt Schilling's bloody sock from the 2004 World Series? He may have to sell that thing to get out of his massive debt problem. He personally guaranteed millions of dollars in loans to his failed video game company. Could get between $50,000 and $100,000 for that sock. He also says he has a hat that Lou Gehrig once wore, so he could get about $150,000 for that.
Wow.
A long way to go
amazing.
after that, though.
Yeah, a lot of athletes having financial problems these days. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
All right, and we'll be back. You're watching ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.
Ahead at 10, we continue to follow the new charges against suspects in Monday's fatal chase and car wreck.
And how people in one city search for a solution to pig problems. Plus, how talking politics with his wife led one man to watch the presidential debate from jail. Join us at 10.
Ooh, and we'll have a final check on the weather.
On me, I was working last night. Right here. Let's look at the sunset. I mean, this is great. I mean, this is gorgeous. That's the sun going down over the Little Lagoon in Gulf Shores, and we constantly watch the position of the sunset, but it's going down on the beach about 6:31. The high was 84. We'll have great weather for the next couple of days. A big cool down coming up on Sunday, and by Monday morning, you'll need a jacket. Can you remember where they
Sweater
are?
weather.
Yeah,
where are they?
Yeah, we'll update that tonight at 10 o'clock.
Thanks, James. That's all the time we have for the news at 6.
Night Team has your next news at 10, and we will see you then.